And we're live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to tonight's edition of Dock Tales, a fisherman's story.
Hi, everybody.
Tonight's guest is Brad Caudill. We're going to have an interesting conversation, not only about Brad's business. As everybody knows, Brad makes most of the weights that we use, but we're going to talk about his fishing story as well. So welcome. And let me...
Hey, everybody in chat.
I'm having a issue here. Stand by. All right. There we go. Let's see some of these names here. Just a warning, if we get interrupted briefly, I was trying to upload a intro, and it doesn't look like it's going to open, and I can't figure out how to shut it off. So if we get briefly interrupted, there's a 20-second intro. Okay, looks like first up was, oh God, we're way behind. Matt, Want to Be Outdoors. Welcome. Pontoon Jody was in the house early. Fishing Frustrations UK, welcome, John. Brad was here early. Catfishing with Cause. Let's see. Lisa Elliott, welcome, sweetie. Buck Williams. It's All Mine, Michelle. Mark Anthony. Takedown Catfish, and welcome, Kenneth. James Kirkpatrick, Buck Williams, Tim Molina. N.I. Donegal Fishing Tales. Mike's Fishing Home, Scott Swift, welcome. Pork Chops in the House, Dale Hayslip. Avid Fisherman, congratulations, Avid, once again. Those you don't know, Avid crossed the 1,000 mark. Central Valley's in the house. Fishing Local 336, Rico, welcome. Cincinnati Cat. And I think that about catches us up for now. And Catfish Regulators. He says, yeah, orange looks good on you, Brad. Saying hello. All right. So as I said, Brad, everybody kind of knows you as the weight guy, the guy to turn to when you need your weights. And Lord knows I have boxes of them.
Yep.
So
I got your address wrote down in a special spot because I know there'd be another one sooner or later.
Oh yeah, we're doing good at the moment. This last box really hooked me up.
Probably helped out a lot.
Yeah, that's what I didn't tell you. The lady at the post office, it wouldn't fit in my PO box, so they keep it behind the counter. And she went and got it, and she says, "Oh my God, this is heavy." She says, "What you got in here, lead?" And I said, "Yep." So she actually weighed how heavy is this? Let me weigh this. And she weighed it, and then she started laughing. 19 pounds. I said, yeah, it's fishing weight.
You could be like our post office. They try to get me to ship them from the house so they can just drive the truck up and grab them and leave.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll just keep bringing them in. She's like, really? You don't have to. I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll just keep doing it this way. It works good for me. Like that way I know they get picked up and they're headed towards the truck.
All right, catching them fish in the house. Sunfish Assassin just came in saying hello. So all right, Brad. So yeah, let's talk about your fishing. I know we were talking a little before. I've had the opportunity to speak with you on some of Aaron's lives in the middle of the night on Friday nights. So we've had a lot of good discussions about fishing, but most people may not know that about your fishing because, predominantly we talk about your weights. So Why don't you tell us a little bit about your fishing history?
I actually started out catfishing with my parents at the age of 6. They have this little sports club over here, and you pay like $25 for a membership for all year, and you can shoot. There's playgrounds, and they got a nice little pond they stock right before the 4th of July, and they do a kids fishing derby then.
Mhm.
And that's actually how I got started into fishing. We started out going to there. My dad and grandparents and their parents all fished before that, but my dad predominantly took and fished for catfish. So we started fishing out there during the fishing derbies. Then we'd fish after, and catch quite a bit of fish. They weren't any of some of the size of some of the other people's. I mean, we weren't catching no 60 or 70 pounders, but
Yeah.
I mean, we were catching them from 3 to 10, maybe 12-pound channel cats, which when
Wow.
you're that age, they're pretty fun to catch.
Oh yeah. I said my biggest channel cat's only 7 pounds. We
Yeah,
don't really have big ones in our lake.
we generally catch 10 to 12 pounders around us, but we don't have blues unless we go 2 hours away to the Ohio River. But we
Yeah.
mainly have channels and flatheads. So, and I prefer the flatheads. They're a lot more fun to catch, and they're harder to catch.
Right. Yeah, we have a population of flatheads, but from bank fishing, they're kind of hard to get to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in our areas they kind of are too, and they move so much. If you don't fish the water enough, you might catch one or two, but they ain't gonna be anything of any size. You actually gotta work the water over pretty hard to keep hitting. I just we hit do like 6 or 7 spots, and we'll try them. And like I'll pick 2 or 3 spots, and Jason, Wild Herbs Fishing Adventures, I always fish with him, and he'll pick 2 or 3 spots, and we'll see how those spots produce, and then go from there to figure out where we want to fish next.
I
Let's
love
see.
flatheads. That's exactly what I go for.
They're a lot of fun. They're even funner. The lighter gear you got, the more fun they are. If you get a lighter action bass rod on a 10-pound flathead, you'll have a blast. It don't have to be 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, I know that I've caught more flatheads while bass fishing than I have while catfishing. You know,
Yeah,
they inherent a lot of those ambush points, and you flip a jig in there and you drop it on his head, and he just can't resist it.
and sometimes you'll be surprised on how shallow they'll actually get on the bank. I mean, sometimes some of them will be in a couple of feet of water, and you would swear there wouldn't be a single fish there. And I've thrown bobbers off the bank, and I've launched them out as far as I could cast. And sometimes the bank, that 2 or 3 foot off the bank, is the place to be. You just, depending on the water.
Yeah. Let me say we've got Fins and Fowl just came in. Lance, the Hawaiian fisherman, is in the house.
Uncle Lou's in the house.
Uncle Lou.
That's Magic Pumpkin, Uncle Lou.
Yeah, Apache Adventures just came in. Let me say, Sunfish Assassin said, my son caught the biggest catfish this year, 7 pounds from the bank off the road, the Hudson River, very small. We are proud. Well, you should be. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great job. Love to see the kids getting involved. Let's see. Let me make sure we're getting caught up.
Yeah, we actually take my kids out to the same fishing derby that we did, and we fish it every it's right before the 4th of July. It's the last weekend before the 4th of July.
Wow. And they've been doing it all these years since you were a kid?
Yep.
That's great.
And it's great for us, but not really great for other people doing it, because we've kind of got that little pond pretty much down to a T, and they get their limit of fish, and usually after they're done, if there's some kids around us, I have them help us pull the pools in and get fish off the pools.
Yeah.
They're like, we're 3 feet away from you, and how are you catching these fish and we aren't? I'm like, because you're not doing it right. I'm like, look, I showed them. I'm like, look what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you do this, I'm like, because a Kentucky rig works very well out there, and I think it's a bait. The bait holder, was it a 4 or a 5, number 5?
All right.
And you just run a Kentucky rig with a 2-ounce sinker in the bottom and sling it out there as far as you can get it.
See, Annette Morgan's come in the house.
Carolina Reel Screamers.
Oh, haven't found them yet.
Do you want to leave the format
Yeah.
like this, or do you want to make him big?
Yeah, let's change that up.
Then he'll be a big pumpkin.
I'm already oranging up. I like that view. That one works good.
That's perfect.
No. There you go.
Oh, look at your shop. Pretty neat.
Don't mind the mess. It is pretty messy in here.
Is that where you make the weights?
Yep.
Okay.
I got all my
Cool.
molds up here, and you can tell some of them been used pretty hard. They get their workout.
So what
You
else
gotta-
you tell us about your fishing? Do you fish
Uh,
tournaments or competitively at all? Or
Not really. A lot of times, a lot of those tournaments, we don't really get to fish the areas that they do it in enough. So we really don't. We've done a couple of them, and we haven't did great, but we tried a couple, but kind of veer away from it.
say Art from One Tons in the house. Welcome, Art. So what do you think about what's your well, let's start with what's your PB?
For a flathead, it was actually this year I caught a 31 pounder,
Wow.
which in the little stretch of river is actually before the Maumee. So, and that's the biggest one that we've caught out of that section of river between me and Jason Boat so far. So I'm sure there's some bigger ones in there. It's just tracking them down.
Yeah. And what'd you say your channels were?
The channel is right about 12 pounds. And then a blue, it's around 20 pounds.
Yeah. That's nothing to sneeze at.
No, it's not. For no more than the time we get to spend on the Ohio River.
Yeah.
I mean, we a lot of times, me personally, I keep bait smaller, and I try to go for number of fish.
But and depending upon your time of year, the smaller bait I don't think really hurts you at all as far as size. So,
Yeah.
especially as it's in the cold water.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right now is the good time to have the smaller bait. I usually do it most of the year. Every once in a while, I'll throw a bigger chunk of bait out, probably twice of what I normally use.
Mm-hmm. If we have enough rods, I like to go one big bait, but then most of them are on the smaller side.
Yeah.
Especially while I've been fishing for numbers more so than size. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when like Ohio, you get 2 rods unless you're on the Ohio River, so then you get a 3rd rod. So we kind of get limited a little more than some other states. Some people are unlimited.
Yeah, Virginia's unlimited.
Yeah, see that'd be pretty sweet because I have plenty of rods and reels for it, but if we get what we get for regulations, which is it's not always a bad thing.
I'm unlimited where I live too. I use 6 rods usually.
Yeah.
But sometimes I've had as many as 10 out. But just depends on how hard I'm trying to catch a big fish.
I don't know how. Well, you're probably anchored a lot though, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm always anchored.
Yeah. See, we usually drift and drag and suspend baits, and we use a lot of Uncle Lou's planer boards.
Yeah.
This is a little over a year old board.
Whose is that brand?
Uncle Lou's.
Uncle Lou's.
And you can see how good this thing still looks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I drove this thing through some stuff, and I was surprised that they hold up really well.
Yeah, we had a nice time with them when I fished with Hooks and Hammocks. They have a set, and that was really, being a bank guy, I don't get to use those a lot, and they showed me how to use them, and we did really well on them. We caught some fish.
Yeah, they work real well. We'll generally put 2 to 4 out, just depending on where we're at or how many people we have. But we'll spread them out 40, 50 feet off each side of the boat and take as much real estate as we can get.
Yeah.
Now you were saying who fishes with you?
Jason.
Jason. Is he like a tournament partner, or you're just a fishing buddy?
Yeah, me and Jason have fished together for a real long time, and so me and him usually go out fishing 95% of the time. So, and then the girlfriend and the kids come out too.
You got any stories about you and Jason fishing?
Oh yeah, me and Jason like to pick and poke fun and mess with each other here and there. So every once in a while, if we're a little slow on catching fish or something, we'll sit there and he'll be doing something and I'll bump his rod, and then it won't be too long. He's like, "There's no way there was a fish on there. It would already took it." I don't know. And then not before too long, then he's going back and forth to me.
Yeah.
It's usually a pretty good time picking back and forth.
Yeah. That's what makes it fun.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
We used to do a little worse thing. We don't do them now, but we were bank fishing below a dam, and me, Jason, and 2 of my brothers and one of our other friends was fishing, and we kept kicking the back of his pole because he kept standing over top of it, and he kept trying to chase the pole, and he'd reel it up and yank real hard, and then there wouldn't be nothing there, and I don't know how I missed it. I'm like, I don't know. We might get it next time, and we did it for about 20 minutes before we told him we were doing it. He was getting pretty excited.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Art from One Tons, we were talking about bait size. He said his dad caught a 31-pounder on a tiny piece of shad. And I saw the picture. It was a beautiful fish.
That flathead, I caught it on a 2, maybe 3-inch bluegill live.
Huh. Yeah, I think I caught a flathead during a bass tournament. There was about 12 pounds, on a jig. And then I caught one maybe a little bit smaller than that, just flipping a little packet craw, on a tiny, tiny little thing. And just you put it in the right spot, and he had a fight or flight reaction, and he took it.
Yeah, they do that a lot. They'll even do it. Like we notice it a lot. Like right now, this time of year, for the flatheads and the little augblays, they'll take and bite on cut bait a lot more than they do the live. But in like early spring, summer, we usually catch them on live bait, either creek chubs or shad or bluegill.
Yeah, this year during my challenge, I only caught one flathead from the dock. Now I did catch a largemouth bass on a live bluegill off the dock while we were catfishing though.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's funny where the flathead will actually sit, and you think that they would sit in deeper water, and sometimes they do, but when it's warm out, they go in pretty dang shallow. We took a John boat into creek channels off of the little augblays and caught 10, 15 pounders up them, and that John boat was barely able to even run in the water.
Yeah. If you would give me a second to get caught up here, we got a bunch of people coming in. Let's see. I saw John Parker from Real Time, Whisker Dreams, David Smith, Laura the Explorer. Hello, Lorianne. Jacob Hajan. Brian B is in the house. Melissa's in the house, and it looks like she's dropping links for us. I appreciate that. And Hogleg's in the house. Uncle Josh is in the house.
What's up, Uncle Josh?
All right, I think that catches us up. All right, so, Mr. Gadget's in the house as well. Welcome, Mr. Gadget. He fishes up here at Lake Gaston sometimes, too. He has a place up here, I believe. we haven't been able to get together yet. But I know he's fished with 1 Ton. They said they had a great time fishing with him. So what's on your fishing? Do you have a boat?
Jason actually has the boat. I have one that I'm doing some work on right now. But Jason's got a newer boat. It does a whole lot better on fuel than the older one that I have. And me and him kind of been working to get it set up to be as good as you can get for fishing off of it, which it's pretty good. Can't complain.
Yeah, that brings a whole new dimension when you can get out there on a boat.
Yeah, and I mean it's only got a 60 horse on it, but I'll tell you what. I mean, when you're going 32, 35, I mean, you can't really complain too much. I mean, some boats don't even do that.
Right.
And heck, if we go to the river we normally fish, we can go out and run up and down the river 4 or 5 trips before we ever have to put fuel back in it again.
Wow.
So it's pretty efficient.
Yeah, I have a bass boat, and it's not set up for catfishing, but that's got a 39-gallon tank in it. You know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, on this lake, the lake is pretty big, and
oh yeah,
you want to run from one end to the other. You don't get but a couple of trips out of that before it's empty.
Yeah,
you
probably got a pretty good sized motor on that though too. It's probably a 150.
Yeah, 150. Yeah, the Mercury 150 for 4-stroke.
Yeah,
and they have come a long way. The 4-strokes are the way to go now. I had a 2-stroke Yamaha before that was a 150, and that ate up the gas a lot faster.
Yeah, we had a boat that had a 115 on it, and we were putting gas in it every time we used it. We weren't even going a tenth of what we go in his boat now.
Yeah,
and it just burned gas, and then you were on top of the gas, you were burning all the extra 2-stroke oil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And around here, my Yamaha only, they recommend you only use their Yamalube, but nobody ever sold it. You had to,
you had
to go far away to go find it, or buy it by the case from somebody, because they didn't want to sell it unless you bought the whole case from them, or.
Yeah.
But the new Mercury is much more efficient.
Oh yeah, definitely are.
If anybody in chat has some questions, if you want to start writing them and just put a question mark or stop sign by it, we'll come back and get them. But we've had some more come in. Uncle Josh is in here. And Laura the Explorer, I don't know if you said her.
Yep.
And my young gal Fishing Tales.
Yep.
I don't know if you got him or not. And Outdoors is Big Matt.
No, I missed Big Matt.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like Laurie.
And Brian B.
And Brian B. Yep, got him. Laura has a question. If it hasn't already been asked, what was the reason Brad started making his weights?
I actually started making the weights actually for ourselves originally quite a few years ago. So we were buying quite a bit of lead, and if you fly head fish and you're throwing in brush, you're going to lose. You just plan on losing some gear. And we were burning through a lot of sinkers, and me and Jason were actually talking, and I'm like, dude, it can't be that much to get a mold and make these sinkers. We normally use this size. We'll get these sinkers and we'll do it.
Yeah.
And so we were doing the little small pot, melting little at a time, just taking our sinkers, and we'd make what we needed, and then we'd stop for a while. We needed them again. We'd make them again. And I know we were over looking for some hooks a while back, and some of the prices on some of these people, the lead for what they sell it for is astronomical.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, I see people losing stuff all the time, and lead can be a bigger expense than a lot of. I mean, some of the hooks can be too, but lead's one of the big repeat buys that you you really you go without, but it doesn't make it very easy.
Yeah. That's
So
a scary feeling when you start running out of lead when you're on a trip.
but yeah, and you can go to a department store, spend $80 on lead, and not really get too much.
Yeah, you know where we're at. There is a tackle store over on the Kerr Lake, which is it's about a 45-minute ride over there, which isn't undoable. But the Walmart up in town, you're lucky if they have any sinkers of any size. You know, everything on that since the COVID hit, their fishing department has been decimated, and it never gets restocked.
Yeah, that's the way ours is too. There's only a couple sizes of something, and it's usually not what you need. You usually have split shot. That's about it. Which is good because when I do need it, I do end up buying it.
Yeah, I've got a few questions here. Uncle Josh, I know you said he wanted to know who your friend Jason's your fishing partner, right?
Yep. He actually has his own channel. It's Wild Herbs Fishing Adventures. If you haven't checked it out, go take a look. You might see something you like.
Can you say his name again?
Wild Herbs Fishing Adventures.
Okay.
Maybe somebody could put that up. I appreciate it. Melissa or Michelle, somebody can look that up for us. Whisker Dreams wants to know, is the cost expensive on shipping the weights?
It's went up because of the holidays. And it does it every year it's right before Thanksgiving through Christmas. The price of all shipping goes up. But normally when it's not a holiday season, it was $8.45 to ship 15 pounds, and now it's up to $9.20, I do believe. I mean, it's went up a little bit.
That's not too bad.
No, it ain't that bad. That's the cheapest way I found to ship them.
Mr. Gay, weight prices got out of control, started casting all of my own just for the same reason. Yep. Excellent, Mr. Gadget.
And I don't blame people for doing it because there's some tackle shops around us, and I'm not going to say their names, but they charge $1 an ounce for lead, and it's pretty steep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen I've seen some prices like that I couldn't believe for a single weight.
Mm-hmm.
Rico's got a question. Can you place an order anywhere else besides Facebook?
They can actually do it from my email. I can actually post that in there.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have your Facebook in the description for that address.
I don't know if it went through, but put it in there.
Lance, I get mine at the junkyard. I make my own no rolls. But I'm fixing to buy some different ones off Brad. He's wanting to know where to get some lead.
Yeah, lead gets much harder to get. There's a lot of places, like the places that I normally use to get lead, there's times where they don't have it. So I'll actually have to go down a line of people that I do know that sell it and see if they have it, because every so often they actually do send what they do have into a supplier.
Yeah.
Wholesaler.
And somebody had another question. This was Laura. You had the same issue getting supplies through this whole Corona thing.
Yeah, brass eyes can be pretty hard to get, and then they kind of their price fluctuates pretty bad. Usually when I buy them, I buy a bunch of them, so I actually have stock. And actually, I order a lot of my stuff way before I need it. That way, I don't need it, not have it.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Gadget said, what weight mold does he sell the most of and from?
That's actually a good question. I actually I actually sell quite a bit of the flat bank sinkers, and I actually sell quite a bit of the egg sinkers. They're probably right in there. The coins do sell quite a bit though too. I mean, between coins and flat banks and eggs, they're
Yeah.
gonna keep you pretty busy.
You sell like 5 ounce? Is that a regular size you sell?
Yeah, I mean they go. I got the flat banks from 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 12 ounce. Here's a 10.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
a small one. And the coins, I mean, that's a 16.
Oh my goodness.
I know that that looks like it's not very big, but here's a 2 ounce.
Yeah. It
So
looked big to me. I knew that was a big sucker. Definitely.
these on the Ohio River will still go downstream.
Really.
Yep. Not all the time, but they will.
Mhm.
You actually get into the main channel, they will drift right down. You could probably actually bump with them.
Okay. I think Tom might be coughing, so we'll give him a rest. But
Oh,
oh,
I'm
you
back.
okay.
Yeah, I was getting the Robotron, so I couldn't get it to clear up, and Michelle said it wasn't happening in the other room.
Yeah. Mr. Gadget says he uses 10 and 12 ounce banks for duck decoys. I guess to keep them staying in the water.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, they actually got a couple different styles of them too. They got like a little hook style, and then another one they like slide on and fold or something. I've seen them.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty neat. I hadn't thought of that. Using it to weigh something down like that.
Oh yeah.
Last time I went fishing, a boat come into the dock because I was getting off, and they had a bunch of ducks that they'd killed. That's what they was actually out doing in a bass boat.
Duck's pretty good. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I had the Robotron voice going on there, so I missed what you guys were saying. Did you answer Laurie's question? Have you had issues getting supplies due to the whole Corona thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we answered that one. Okay.
Aaron's got one. So when you coming to fish the dock?
Hopefully soon. I thought I was going to get a little break, and then they told us today that don't make any plans yet. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, anytime. Anytime.
This time of the year usually slows up pretty good for us, but we were supposed to get a 2 week little mini vacation, if you want to call it that, where they're going to slow up for that 2 weeks for Christmas and New Year's. And I'm like, sweet. And then they're like, hold on, I think we have stuff we have to do. I'm like, oh, I'm like, don't crush my hopes.
Yeah. Let's say Mike's Fishing Home says, I'm a Brad man now. Love mine. Won't go elsewhere, and was prompt service.
Thank you, Mike. I try to. Every
He
once in a while,
brags
the mail service will take and have some issues getting some stuff delivered, but we make sure to make it right.
He brags on you almost every night on his show.
Yeah, I was in there the other night and he was bragging on me. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's the best problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
And Hogleg said, Brad's sales very clean and has really good prices on his weights. If you don't like your own, you should try Brad's out.
Yep.
Absolutely. And Melissa did put up Jason's website, YouTube site.
Oh,
So everybody grab that. Mr. Duggar's in the house. Chucky Morgan's in the house. Skull Rush has come in. I think you answered Rico's question already.
Whiskers and Stripes has a good one. Will Brad be bringing title weights to the Cat Con in February?
No, I probably won't. Probably not this year. Maybe down the road. You get a little little bigger.
Mhm.
Did you answer Mr. Gadget? He asked what weight molds do you sell the most from?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So you probably answered all these while I couldn't hear. So let's jump down. If we missed anybody, put your question back in.
Kenan from
Jody?
Takedown Catfishing. Did you see his? Brad, you had the no rolls with the outlets.
The no
I
rolls with the what?
With the outlets.
With the eyelets? No. I've made some by hand myself and actually put eyes in them, but it ain't like the actual mold of doing it. I don't actually have that mold for that.
Now,
Jody,
what
you know what this is?
stir up?
You know what
What is
this is?
that? Is that oatmeal cake?
It's
king
little
size?
Debbie's oatmeal
Looks
cake.
like an oatmeal. Yep.
Yeah.
You can have it. You can have it if you can come and get it.
I'll be there in 3 hours.
Well, Jody warned me, Brad, that you don't like zebra cakes.
I
Is
don't
that
mind
true?
baby cakes. I was upset though. I went to the store after work and they didn't have the strawberry shortcakes. I was kind of disappointed.
Those are good.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
My kids love those things.
Mm-hmm. They're probably one of my favorites besides the zebra cake. The strawberry one.
The only thing they had tonight was oatmeal, so I had to settle.
I'm sworn off of them for 2 months. I'm trying to get healthy. But come February 1st, I'm going to wear them out.
We'll send you a care package with 1 or 2 in it.
Okay.
All right. Aaron has a question for you, Brad. Do you have a way of scuba diving at the dock to get all those weights and hooks back?
Aaron, no.
We have a collection of your weights sitting out there.
I wouldn't have a problem going down there, but the coming back up and swimming back to the top is usually a problem for me. I don't actually swim, so I do really good at sinking, though. I'll say that.
Yeah, right.
Cake. You just dive right in, you pop right back up. Trust me.
That's what I've been told, but I haven't chanced it.
Bobcat Outdoors in the house. The reef robbers come in. Mark from Catfish and Crappie.
Hi, Mark.
Welcome, buddy. Laura the Explorer. I'm so happy I caught you all. I need to bail out now. Great show. Brad is definitely the bomb or da bomb. All right, Laurie, have a great night. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Lord.
Whisker Dreams said, my mailman would have a cow if he had to carry a 15-pound box of lead to my house. He frowns when he has to open his back lid on his Jeep to deliver Uncle Lou's rods.
Whisker and Dreams used to see the post office when you hit them a 70-pound box. It gets interesting. They usually try to slide them onto a cart.
Have you seen an increase in shipping price because your box is so heavy?
No, anything like anything 15 pounds and less. Sometimes I get a little more in them, but it just depends on the sinker style and what all you order.
Yeah.
But I usually get 15 pounds pretty safely in a small box, it's $9.20, and then the next box up is anything over 15 pounds to set no more than 70 pounds, and it's $16.25, I think, right now.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Just a couple more shout outs. Texas Six Shooters come in the house and TX Tiger. Welcome, gentlemen. And Danny Stone. What's up, Danny?
There's a question from Mark. Brad, why are your sinkers so much shinier than the rest? I'm not kidding. They look too good to use.
It just depends on the lead you get.
Does it depend on the lube or the lead you're using, or just your finish?
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We didn't hear your answer though.
Had a call come through even on Do Not Disturb. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Huh.
It happens.
The phone does what it wants to sometimes.
Yep.
We got 42 people in the house tonight. That's awesome. 44 just jumped up. All right, so Jody, what was your question again for Brad?
Mark,
Or was it Mark's question?
property. Brad, why are your sinkers so much shinier than the rest? I'm not kidding. They look too good to use.
And a lot of it's the lead you use. I do have some soft lead that I do use, and I do actually try to get a good mix of the lead, because if it's got a lot of zinc in it, they'll go like a off gray silver, like a matty silver color, and then if you got the softer lead, it's got a lot less impurities in it, so which does make them shinier. Like I actually come across this about a month ago, which is pretty neat. I'll show it to you. Oh. This is some older lead that was ingoted probably a pretty good while ago, and it's virgin lead. They just don't got all the not been ran through and remelted who knows how many times.
Excellent. And where can you find lead like that?
It's kind of hit and miss. When I find it, I get as much of it I can, and then incorporate it in. Which I got like eight or 9 bars of that soft lead right now, and they average like 5 pounds a piece.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, it makes it handy. The softer lead actually melts a lot lower temperature too. You got a lot of zinc in it. Your pot's got to run about as hot as it gets.
I have a question about your pot. Do you use that small one like, they sell at Bass Pro? Probably the same one I have. Do you have a bigger pot you use, or use that small one?
Yeah, I have. This is actually, I don't know if you can see it very well. This is actually a 10-pound pot. But I got a 20 here. And then this is actually one of the melting pots. It ain't a pouring pot. I actually just got that.
And what do you wear mask-wise, so you don't have the fumes?
I actually got a vent and a fan that I run up overhead. You can't really see it.
It draws it out.
I draw all the air out. Yeah. That way you don't have everything right where you're looking.
Very smart.
It works good. When I clean all my lead, I do it all outside, because cleaning lead to actually get it to where it's semi-clean, it puts off some pretty nasty stuff. You don't want to be inhaling it.
Mr. Gadget wants to know what part of Ohio you're from.
I'm actually near Lima, Ohio. I'm like 15 minutes from Lima.
So we got a couple more shout outs. Mark Anthony, I'm not sure if we mentioned you. I think I did see you in here earlier. Your boy Troy's in the house, and so is Jerry from Parker Pursuits. Welcome, gentlemen. All right, Uncle Josh said he's been up since 4 a.m. Good night, all. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate you, buddy. Let me see if we got anything else. Oh, the Bullock Experience. Kelly's in the house. And Kelly put out a video earlier making a T-bone, I believe is what he was making. Michelle was watching it while I was getting ready.
Brad, what do you do for a living?
I actually am a carpenter. I build scaffold for chemical plants, refineries. A lot of other people do nukes and stuff like that. So it's kind of a dangerous job, or it can be. You're working around a lot of chemicals that could do stuff to you. Not always good.
Mhm.
So we're usually working up in the air. I mean, anywhere from we can be 5 feet off the ground, or we can be a couple 100 feet off the ground. I actually worked last year at a steel mill in Toledo, and it's actually the highest structure in Toledo at the moment. And we were building scaffold off the side of it.
Hmm.
It was
Definitely not
200.
scared of heights.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah. Do you have any
Danny,
other hobbies? Do you have
I
any other hobbies?
actually, yeah, I shoot guns, and we'll sit there and play basketball and football and soccer with the kids if they want to play it. I've always been in sports, and so kind of natural.
Brad, Danny Stone has a question here, a statement here. He says that you have your comments turned off on your videos, and you might want to tell him. Is that the setting that you have it on, or are you aware of that?
I wasn't aware of it. I can look at it though and change it. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, you've had a couple other ones want to know if you're going to do any meet and greets and if you're going to be at Mendota in the spring.
I don't know. A lot of it depends on our work schedule. Sometimes it's pretty demanding, and they don't really like you to not be there. So it's always kind of a struggle to kind of work around it.
So I was pretty envious watching all those live streams from Mendota this year. I said, not having those big channel cats. I said, man, that looks sweet. But Michelle's like, you should go to Mendota this year. I said, yeah, but I'm a bank fisherman, you know?
Yeah.
So there wouldn't do me any good up there unless I was with somebody that had a boat. But yeah,
it definitely looked like it'd be a blast. I mean, if you're catching 19-pound channel cat, that'd be pretty interesting to catch. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think there was
pretty fun.
Brandon Cross caught one. I think was the big one on the trip, 28, 29 pounds. That must be awesome. Because some people have said, you know, and I don't have the knowledge because we don't have the big channels, but they say pound for pound, the channels are the best fighters.
Mm-hmm.
They usually do fight pretty good when they get bigger. I know a 12-pounder will move you around a little bit. I'll make you work for it.
It's like the blues that we have here, you know, we catch them on the dock and we hook them, you know, 70, 80 yards out, and they just start swimming at you. You know, they don't really start fighting you until they see the dock, you know, and then you've only got about 10 feet of line out when they decide they want to take off again. But it's like, it's almost like half of them, there's no fight to them because you're just trying to recover line and try to catch up to them.
Yeah.
So do you want to go over some of the styles of weights that you sell and tell us if you would, if you know, you know, which one's best for which situation?
All right. Well, you got your tried and true bank sinker. This is a little bigger. This is an 8-ouncer, but I want to make sure everybody'd be able to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, this is gonna be one of your more common sinkers, like especially in lakes without current, reservoirs. A lot of people use them for that.
Growing up, that's what we threw saltwater fishing.
Oh yeah,
probably because there wasn't a whole lot.
I know they make them pretty. Yeah, they make them up pretty big. I mean, they go up to like 20 or 24 ounces. Them molds for, so they get pretty big on the bank sinkers.
Yeah.
You got your flat bank, so for your current river. Same way with the eggs are more river. I mean, they're pretty versatile, and a lot of people use them for a pretty wide variety of water conditions. Kind of depends on what you're doing, suspending or
from the bank. We do quite a bit of lawn casting, and I was using the no rolls that I was getting from you, and then Aaron was using the egg sinkers, and
yeah,
he was out casting me continually. And I would notice when I'd cast those 3 and 4 ounce no rolls that they'd slide up the line, and it was like, create a pendulum, and I was losing distance when that was happening. So I switched over to the egg sinkers, and I've actually caught back up. So
yeah. Sometimes I know sometimes people actually put a stop and then a bead behind it before they put the no roll on, so it doesn't do that.
That's good.
It just kind of depends. It just kind of depends on how you're fishing, and sometimes it depends on the line you're using too. Some of the braid can be real slick, and others not.
Yeah, I'm not a braid guy.
Yeah, but it's a lot different when you're fishing off the bank or fishing off a boat too. That plays a pretty good part in that.
Yeah, it's tough to break that braid from 70 yards out.
Yes, it could be bad. Sometimes it takes 2 arms and a lot of will. You got your coin sinkers. I grabbed the smaller one, but should still be able to see it. I mean, these are they kind of on a similar lines of a bank sinker. You're gonna use it with something. It can have some current in it, and a lot of it depends on the bottom. What's on the bottom, whether it's mud, which is the more preferable way to use the coin, or you got sandstone, or if you got bigger rocks and a lot of current, like Big Mike is a real good example of fishing that dam.
Right.
These flat banks actually will sink faster than the coins do, just because of the shape of them and how they cut water. So, and these are like if you're fishing from a dam, this is what I use.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll suspend drift with these and let these drag on the bottom.
Excellent.
You do like we started making these too. The drifting weights. These were I use these a lot, either suspending or most of the time I use them on a planer board. They work really well because usually I let out a ton of line, throw it as far as I can get it, clip the board on, and let it go. And I haven't hung any up yet, but they tend to do pretty good. Then you got your cannonball, and if we're in the Ohio River, I won't use these just because like the biggest ones we make are 4 ounces, and I have these all the way up into 10 or 12, and I'll use these cannonballs, and I'll actually use these to drag and drift off of them with it, just because the current's usually quite a bit higher.
We have a question here from Creepy Crawlin'. It's a new name to me. Do you have any plans on making 1 to 2 ounce flat bank sinkers?
I don't have that mold yet. Probably in the near future. I try to buy at least 1 mold every month. That way I get a little bigger variety of stock of what I can sell and what people are needing. So in time, I definitely for sure will probably end up getting one, because I've had probably 4 or 5 people in the last 2 months ask me about that. So there's definitely a possibility in it.
And what do you think is your biggest seller?
I honestly say flat banks is probably the most, but coin and eggs are right there, not far behind.
right. Do you have any more to show us?
I think that's it. Up there.
Okay, because I have one here that you sent me that you haven't mentioned yet.
Yep,
Let
that's
me,
that's the one I don't have here.
Let me, Dewey Cooter's in the house. All right, hey, let me change the layout and I'll show this one off.
I'm glad I sent you a few of those because I didn't have any made up tonight.
Oh, wait a minute. Try that. All right, let me get my hands out of the way. That's a 5 ounce. Oh, I'm terrible at this. And it's got, what do you call this one, Brad?
That's actually a trolling sinker, and
Trolling.
I make those with and without the swivels. Chunky. I call it the chunky sinker because that's what Chunky uses.
Yep. Yep. You sent me a couple with and without the swivels to try out. And I am going to be putting them to use real soon. Maybe even this Friday.
Cool. You have to tell me how they do.
Yep. Definitely will. So we have, some of you may know, we have a spot out here called Hades Hole that we throw our baits into and we let them sit there for hours and hours, because if a fish don't pick your bait up and carry it out of there, you're going to be hung up as soon as you start reeling it. So Brad wanted me to try these out there and he sent me a couple, and we're going to put them to use and see what they do.
Yeah, hopefully they'll work out for you.
Yep. Yeah, but definitely let you know. Mark Catfish and Crappie. Yep. He does make egg sinkers.
Yep.
What sizes do you carry in your egg sinkers?
From one all the way up to, make sure I tell you right. One all the way up to 1 to 5 ounces.
Okay. Excellent. Mr. Gadget says he put an eye on the small end and used them for drifting. I assume he's talking about the trolling sinker.
The trolling sinkers. Yeah, that mold actually does both 2 eyes on them, but they do make them with them on with one. They make a couple different versions of that sinker.
Danny says he uses braid on his spinning reels and mono on the bait casters.
Catfish and Crappie, one of he said, does Brad say he made egg sinkers?
Yeah, I make egg sinkers.
Yeah. And how does people get hold of you to purchase these?
You can message me either on Facebook or at Bradley Caudill 851216 at gmail.com. That's the easiest email to use right now until I get my other account on my new phone. I've been struggling with it.
And then they can just message you with what they want and get the price.
Yeah, they can message me what they want. If they have questions, I do have a picture I can send you of the style, weight, and the sizes in each style. If you have any questions with that, or with what you're using, if you got a situation and you're not really for sure what style of sinker would work better, ask me. We can talk. I'm sure we can figure it out. I do pretty good to help people when they need it. I've fished in probably about the majority of the situations you could fish in spots, so I generally can tell you what you're going to either need or what is probably going to be best for the situation you have.
And you sell by the pound, right?
Yes, ma'am. 16 ounces.
Okay.
And could you repeat your email one more time? Michelle just whispered in my ear that she didn't get that, and that she was trying to write it down, didn't get it all.
Yep, that's fine. It's Bradley Caudill, Caudill, 85 12 16 at Gmail.
All right. If not, I know I heard that clearly, so we can come back and get to it if she didn't get it.
I put it in chat. Can you see if that's right? I know you can see it on your phone, your second
Yep.
device.
Yep.
Sounds like it. Yep.
Okay. And Beth Williams had a question just then.
Yep. I just saw that too.
You go ahead and ask.
Brad, what do you think of using a dragging weight from the bank under a slip float in a fast current river? Do you think it would work?
I think it depends on what kind of slip float you got. If you use them, the bigger ones that Walmart sells that are pretty good size around, I mean, it'd be the same principle as using a planer board with them under it. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't work.
All right. Hope that answers your question, Buck. If you have a follow-up, go ahead and post it. All right, I think I'm caught back up in chat. I get yelled at every week when we're over, and Michelle says I missed people's comments in chat.
Mhm.
Thank you, Michelle and Melissa, for putting that email up for me.
So what do you see in the future, Brad? I mean, let me ask you this. Do you spend more time fishing or making weights?
Right now, for sure, making weights. Me and Jason were just talking, and we're going to see about hopefully getting out this weekend. So, crossing my fingers and hoping. We'll see.
Yeah, not going to be a whole lot of good weekends left. It's the weather's starting to cool off.
Oh yeah, that real
So we were
under 10 is not pretty at 6:30 in the morning.
Right. So we were out this Saturday night, and we were fishing on the dock, and I was doing the chat. I sat in the chair for 18 hours trying to close that out, and I looked behind me, and Josh from One Ton had his big propane heater out there, and him and Aaron were all cuddled up like they were sleeping the sleep of the dead. You know, they were all huddled up with blankets and all sorts of stuff, and I was freezing.
You need to get you one of those pop-up, they're like the little canopies, and then tarp 3 sides of it. Keep the wind off it.
Yeah. We didn't have any wind the other night. You know, the wind here, it's funny. The wind blew all week long, like 14, 15 miles. And then as the sun goes down, it just slowly stops. And it does that every night here. Very seldom do we have wind in the middle of the night.
Our wind only seems to pick up some more. You just never know which direction it's going to come out of.
I think I saw Solo just came in. Welcome, Solo.
I think we got time for one more comment or question. You got G-Style Fishing. How does the shipping work on how many weights you get? And you went over that a little earlier, but you want to tell them again just in case?
Yeah, I can. I ship 50 right around 15 pounds in a small box, which is $9.20. And then anything over 15 pounds all the way up to 70 is $16.25. So, and I mean, obviously, if you're getting 8-ounce sinkers for every two sinkers, you're getting a pound of sinkers.
Okay. Well, we've reached our hour. Went over just a little bit. I know you have to get up and go to work.
Yep.
But they can reach you on Facebook, and then they can reach you on your email. I'll put that in again, and Michelle put it in the description. You got any closing thoughts?
I just like to thank everybody for the continued support. I mean, not just buying sinkers for me, but I mean everybody else. Everybody does such an amazing job to help people out when they need it. sending prayers to everybody, doing what they can to do their part for one another. It's just really nice to see everybody working together and setting a common goal and working towards trying to catch bigger fish for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on tonight. Got to know you a little bit better and learn about what you do.
Thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate it too, Brad. I know we've chatted a little bit, but it's nice to just have an open conversation here. This has been great. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
And I appreciate all
Anytime.
you've done for me. I know when I tell you I need weights, 3 days later, they're here. So I appreciate you doing that.
Ain't no problem. That's the whole point of doing it, trying to get them out as fast as we can. I'll usually, if I get it like this late at night, usually next morning I'll either wake up early and package them or do them right after work, and then they go out the next day.
Well, I think the first time I did my reorder, you didn't even have any in stock of the kind I wanted, and you said I'm going to make them right now. So
Yeah.
I do appreciate that.
And that does happen sometimes. I try to keep as much as I can, but every once in a while, it'll never fail. I can make 50 pounds of 8-ounce coins, and the next day they're gone. And I'm like, hey, did I just make these? I swear I just made them yesterday.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is a good problem to have.
Yep, keeps you busy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully it makes you a little extra money, buy some more tackle.
Everything that we make gets put back in and goes back towards giveaways. Like on Kevin's channel, it all goes back in. So
yeah,
we don't actually pull a profit off of it. So, which is the whole point of it. I wasn't doing it to make money. I was doing it to help people out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is.
Well, all right, then we're going to say our good nights. Brad, don't go away after we close down here. So we just talked to you for a minute. Thank you, everybody. Looks like we still have 38 people here. We appreciate it, each and every one of you being here. And that's a wrap for tonight. We'll see you next week.